What's happening, YouTube? My name is Ryan, and today on Tricrow Studios, we're going to be removing and installing some 500 series modules and some blanks. We can see that. So honestly, this is kind of Kevin that asked me to make this video. I know he knows that he's going to be able to do this, but I'm pretty sure it's just one of those things where he's going to be like, I'd rather Ryan makes a video instead of me calling him when I go to do this. This is also a video I made on my older channel probably about 5 or 6 years ago. It's just easy. I'm going to be taking all of these out except for the Lindell Audio 6X500 preamp. I don't like that preamp. It's not a bad preamp, I never use it. I find that, honestly, these two right here I'm always using, and these two are clones of these two, and the radial is just the radial. So, whatever. I will be eventually getting more preamps, and obviously you'll see why when I get to the AP. But we're going to keep this one here for now, and I'm just going to take these right out. I'll explain how to do the first one, and then I'll just fast forward. So basically, you need a really tiny screwdriver, the star head one. I don't know why I don't. Well, let's just shot in the dark Phillips, and you can comment shot in the dark wrong if I'm wrong. But yeah, you just unscrew the, break the screwdriver when you try to unscrew them. So we're gonna go with this. And you just literally unscrew this screw and this screw here. And then just use your hand. Unscrew them, pretty basic. Put them over here. And then you just rock it back and forth. Cut your fingernails before you do it. Don't be lazy. Like me. So anyway, it comes right out. So that is what the module looks like. Some of them don't have the side here. Anyway, that's what it looks like. So I'll just end up either cutting or fast forwarding here. Okay, so as you can see, everything except for the Lindell Audio here is out. Now, I'm going to install some blanks. These are actually for my 8P. I'm going to set these aside. But I know Kevin bought a set of 4. So he's going to have one open space because he hasn't bought modules for these yet. That's an eventual thing. And he's going to be smart, aren't you, Kevin, and get some good preamps and not just... This was one, honestly, when I bought this, they had no preamp, or no preamps in the store at all. So I bought this because they said this would be a 2-week wait, whereas the other preamps were at least a month. So I ordered this in. When I went to pick this up, they actually had the Vintech, the VA573. Like this was only like $300 at that time, and VA573 was like $800 or $900. Great price, and it's my favorite preamp. But yeah, so that's the only reason I actually have this, and not a fan. Doesn't mean it's a bad preamp, but I'm not a fan. But anyway, I'm going to actually send him with a blank. Now, the big thing with the blanks that I want to actually talk about, and I mean, this is very straightforward and obvious when it comes to, taking them out and installing them. It's just sometimes you need to see someone do it to make sure, because you don't want to mess anything up here, right? Just in case you have a brain fart of some sort. But the most important part of this video to me is the blanks. Now, these blanks, if you look for the blanks like on music store websites, like for me, the API blanks, for a single API blank, in Canada, the last time I looked, was $21. And they never stock them in the store, so you gotta wait and wait and wait and wait. So everyone thinks that, oh no, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of dust in here, and I mean, yeah, you might. I've seen, the dumbest thing I've seen was someone taped a piece of paper across here and taped all in on the sides and the back and everything. It looked terrible. Yeah, it's a cheap way to do it, but you know, I've also seen people use like masking tape, duct tape, just so you know, here and everything. Yeah, it's a cheap way to do it, and you know what? People will look at it and go, "What the hell is that?" And you can go, "Well, I'm not buying blanks because they're X amount." But if you look on Amazon, and this is Amazon.ca, these were $20 for a set of 4. So it's literally, you might take 10-15 minutes to look around, and you just look for 500 series blanks or 500 series. I think that the only thing I looked for was blanks, I think. But you know what I mean, like, or covers. And you'll find these were $20 for 4. So guess what? If you're like me, or if you're like Kevin, you got a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old, or Jason who's also on this channel. He doesn't have one of these, but if he had one, guess what the first thing they're gonna do is, what is this piece of paper? And they're gonna put their hand right through it. And there goes your dust protection. Although, I mean, you can go get another sheet of paper, but you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna ruin that. And I mean, especially when it comes to masking tape, not masking tape so much, masking tape will come off, but duct tape, you gotta make sure you clean this afterwards, right? And at that point you might have gotten some goo inside of it, and $20 is gonna make it look more professional, be sturdier, and it's just gonna help you in the long run as opposed to using duct tape. Now, that doesn't mean that in your studio you're not going to put up a little sign that says keep your children out of here. I mean, that might be the right way to go, but when you got a home studio and you love your kids, then you know they're going to be downstairs and they're going to be playing with daddy's tools or toys, and I highly encourage that. So anyway, yeah, to me, biggest part of the video, blanks. $20 for a 4-pack. You just gotta search for it. 500 series blanks, 500 series panels, or 500 series covers. Look, and then just keep going through and keep going through. You will find them at $20 for 4 of them. Alright, so here we go. Here is the API Lunchbox 8P. So basically, I'm literally just transferring from one to the other. But basically, what I'm going to do is, I know my layout, I know what ones I want in what spots, what ones are completely easier. Here's a tip, if you're using my kind of setup where you know, your preamps are 1 to 8, and you're using, you know, input 1 to 8 for each, and if you're using an XLR patch bay, which I highly recommend, kind of sound like bubbles there a little bit, but I highly recommend using an XLR patch bay. It'll save so much space for you, and you don't have to continuously have cables in the back, and you can run longer or shorter cables that way. Cable management, huge deal to me. But yeah, make sure to make things easier, better workflow, so whenever you create a new project and you know, add a track, by default it's going to be track number 1 that it looks for, unless you've selected your main one is 6 or whatever. But anyway, it's just easier. Your main preamp that you always use is number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So basically, let's see if I can get a good view. Here we go. So there's 8 connectors in there. So basically, in the middle of the blue, where you can see the, like, I'll call them silver or chrome, I don't know, whatever, those contacts there, you want to get this thing right here inside of it. Very easy, just like computer stuff. So A lot of people will say that it's easier to do it when it's upright like this. But you know what? If you buy a new module, you're not going to take this whole thing out of your rack and put it back in. It's not that hard to do it when it's on its side. So anyway, what I like to do, especially when I have the space, is you see how that's kind of sticking out there? Try not to touch this, by the way. You know what? When I was in grade 10 and they said don't touch the contacts, just because, you know, finger grease and stuff like that. It's ain't like a Nintendo cartridge, fellas. Although it kind of is. But you're not going to be taking it out all the time and blowing on it. So try not to touch the contacts on it. But what I like to do is, when I have the space, at least, is I like to kind of feel around. So you stick this part down until you can feel it touching. And you can kind of work your way over the first bump. So it's sideways, and then you just lift it up straight, kind of line it up with the screw holes, and then you should be comfortable at this point pushing it down. Okay? And then at that point you just screw everything back in and you're set. But I'm going to be a little annoying to myself, and I'm going to put my second module in. So this is the 512C. Lovely, lovely preamp. Honestly, I love the VA573. It's a 1073 clone, of course, but I don't have the AMS Neve one. There's a Heritage one that I wanted to try as well. There's a couple. The BAE is supposed to be really good, but I really, really like the sound of the Vintech. I researched my preamps before I actually bought these, and I knew which ones to buy right away if they had them in the store, and this was actually number 2 on my list. This was number 1. So anyway, you can see the side is kind of exposed here. This one isn't. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, because I got a little bit of room here still. And it's great because you can actually see. So I'm feeling around for that bump right there. It still lines up. So again, bring it up where it's level to the screw holes, then you're comfortable. You know that's where it's supposed to be, so when you push it down in, it's all set. So next up, and again, this is a 1073 clone. So I like to have 1073, 512, 1073, 512, and then whatever else I have at that time. So again, I have a little bit of room, and I actually got it right. I didn't even have to feel around with that one. When you have an existing preamp here, when you're setting it in this way, if you put it in on an angle, it kind of just about catches itself. It's pretty hard to, because there's not enough room for this to go past a certain point. So if you put it in sideways like this, you'll feel it catch a lot quicker. There we go, and again, line it up with the screw holes, push down. So what I want to do now, of course I want to screw all of these in, but I'm actually going to put a blank in first. I might put all of my blanks in. And again, 20 bucks for a 4-pack. If you look on Amazon, I don't think it's like there's a certain company, like, you know, you can just make your own Amazon sellers account, and you can order things from a company. These are oh, that one's dented. Who cares? That's an item that you can actually get ordered to sell, I believe. So you can get it from a whole bunch of them, but me, it was when I looked for them, I was kind of explaining to Kevin, again, the other guy, another guy on the channel here, what you do or what you look for and all that stuff. Why are you not cooperating? you down. Like this. That's when I actually found these covers, and I told him about it, and he's like, well, I'm going to buy them right away. So he bought them, and I've always had all of my spaces filled, but once we realized what we were going to do with the 8P and the 6B, I figured, you know what, I'm going to need blanks. So I got blanks. I ordered them right away. 20 bucks. Steal of a deal. Alright, so yeah, like I said, basically, this is it. I just gotta put screws in and tighten things up. And that is, ta-da, installing modules on a lunchbox. And it's, I know I'm gonna have to cut things down and stuff. This is a little long video. But again, I can't stress enough. 20 bucks, look for them. If you know you're getting a lunchbox, buy them right away, because you won't regret it, and it's just sturdier. You never know what you're gonna do. I've had some idiots over the years record with me. I've had a drumstick go through a leather couch, my leather couch, when recording. I myself, when I was younger, burnt out a fader on my own equipment, of course, thankfully. Burnt out a fader with a guitar string that was not cut. Don't leave your guitar strings long, people. Anyway, yeah, you never know. Like, you could have a drumstick go through this. You could have a headstock go through this. Would you ever think that would happen? No, but you don't know how stupid some people are, myself included, at some points. So, there you go. That's not gonna break. Sturdy, good. Then you don't have to yell at anyone afterwards. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry if it was really long. Got a whole bunch of videos like this on our channel. Check it out. If you have any questions about this whole thing, don't be scared to ask. We like to get back to you guys. It's just good that way. I say good day.